Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm one of the midwives here at Broadlawns, and we're going to talk a little bit about how baby moves during labor. We talk a lot about having moms and parents move during labor, but we're going to talk about how that affects the baby and why that's important. And so during pregnancy, babies usually start head down, how we like them, and usually their body is off to one side or the other. As pregnancy goes. You may feel baby, when people talk about baby dropping or engaging in your pelvis, and that is as baby kind of starts to tuck and make their way into the pelvis before labor, but most of that work happens when labor starts. So baby starts lined up, ready to go, and when contractions start working, they start pressing baby down into the pelvis, and that helps baby start to engage in the pelvis, and then their chin is going to start tucking, because the smallest part of the baby's head is this back spot right here. When we talk about crowning, this is the spot that we want to see. This is the smallest diameter of baby's head, and so baby is going to start curling a little bit and starting to descend down into the pelvis as those contractions get further along. And so when we check during labor, if we do a vaginal exam, most people are familiar with dilation, how open the cervix is, but we also feel how thin the cervix is and where baby's head is in relation to these bones. And so your pelvis is made to move and allow baby through during labor. And so it's important, as we figure out where baby's at, we can encourage different positions for you to encourage baby to get in better positions as well. And then as labor progresses and it gets time for pushing, baby has made this nice tuck and they rotate some. And so typically when people are pushing, it's going to be, like I said, this back part of baby's head. If we had that perineum and vaginal tissue here, we're gonna start seeing this back part of baby's head as they start to move down with pushing. Some babies spend labor in what we call OP positioning. Sometimes people call it sunny side up, that baby tries to come out this direction, which is obviously a much bigger diameter, and so can be more difficult, sometimes can make labor longer, can sometimes cause back labor. Some people have an OP baby like this and don't notice any difference whatsoever. Everybody's pelvis is very different and lets babies through in different ways. And so as baby kind of typically, they've engaged, they've flexed their head, they've rotated, and now you are pushing. And we're gonna start to see this little part of baby's head, and just with more effort and more effort and more effort, lots of hard work, baby is gonna move down, and then that head extends now to start coming out. And then that is when the head has come out. For most people with pushing, there's a huge feeling of relief once the head is out. And then baby is going to rotate again. And this time they're gonna rotate their head to line up with their shoulders. And so their shoulders are kind of front to back, and their head is gonna restitute to that spot. And then the shoulders, the front and then the back shoulder are going to come through, and then body and everything. And then baby comes right up to your chest if that's what you're wanting. And you guys can snuggle and we can assess both of you. And so all of those movements take a lot of work from baby. It takes a lot of power from your uterus as it is doing that work to move baby down, to dilate the cervix, and to help baby line up. And so sometimes when labor feels like it's not working because the dilation isn't changing, it's working really hard to get baby lined up really well. Might be working to get baby to tuck their chin, might be working to get baby to rotate. There's lots of things that are happening that we can't see, and so sometimes the numbers don't match exactly, but your body's doing really amazing work to get baby right where it needs him or her and to help that labor progress along. So during that process, it's really important for you to be moving. And so we've got all sorts of different tools that we can use to encourage movement. If you are in one position the whole time, your pelvis is sitting just in one position the whole time. And so even just rolling over to the other side changes where that pressure is, changes where your pelvis is at. But oftentimes you'll hear us, you'll hear your nurses, you'll hear your OBs encourage, get up and walk around, get into hands and knees, do different positions, because we want to give your pelvis every opportunity to move and flex how it needs to let baby through. And that also helps baby move and flex and move their way through. There's lots of muscles involved and lots of bones and lots of structure involved that we want to help your body work as efficiently as possible. And so standing up, moving around, we have a squat stool you can sit on that brings your knees really wide. That helps open your pelvis. We have a squat bar you can use to hold on the bed, or we can take the bottom half of the bed off so you can stand and really go down into a deep squat. Some people like holding on to their partner or their labor support person, and you can dance, you can move your hips, you can sway, you can use them for support. We have another birth stool that we often don't use as a birth stool. We use it as a support for when people are in their hands and knees. If you don't want to support yourself with your arms any longer, that can work really well to lean forward on that. We have peanut balls to help support your leg. We have step stools. You can put one foot up and do big hip circles, one direction, the other direction, figure eight. A lot of it is just meant to keep you moving. And so that is really important. For people who choose to do an epidural or IV pain medication, where you might be a little more restricted to the bed, you aren't restricted in movement. You don't have to be in just one position laying there. Our nurses are amazing at encouraging movement, and sometimes you're at a point where you just want to rest, but we can help support you in different positions with the peanut ball, with pillows, and get you into a variety of positions that are still continuing to work with your hips, to work with your pelvis, to work with your baby, to continue encouraging movement in a variety of ways, even while you're able to rest and let those contractions do some work with less energy on your part. And so movement is very important to us throughout labor, at every stage. Even in pushing, oftentimes we'll push in one position for some contractions, and then we're gonna move. We're gonna go side to side. We might go even further onto one side, switch over to hands and knees, try different positions to help you find the best spot for you and for your baby. There's no wrong spot to be in other than a spot that's not working for you. And so we encourage you to get up and move, and that will help both you and your baby with labor progress.